There you go. Oops, I can't record to the cloud, but that's fine. I'll record to the computer. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. So today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, second chapter, and verse number 13. The name of the chapter is Lord is in the Heart. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Is it okay if I start sharing the screen now? Yes, thank you. Oops. Just give me a second. I will increase the font a little bit. Oops. I think this much we can go. Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ekaka Sangani Divya Nubhavayat. Vadadiyavad Dasitam Gadabritaha. Chitam Chitam Stanam Apoyam Darayat. Param Param Sudyati Giryata Yata. The process of meditation should begin from the lotus feet of the Lord and progressing to his smiling face. The meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet and the calves and the thighs, and in this way higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed upon the different parts of the limbs, one after another, the more the intelligence becomes purified. Report. Process of meditation recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam is not to fix one's attention on something impersonal or void. The meditation should concentrate on the person of the Supreme Lord Godhead, either in his Virat Rup, the Jaganta universal form, or in his Satchidananda Vigraha as described in the scriptures. There are authorized descriptions of Vishnu forms, and they are authorized representations of deities in the temples. Thus, one can practice meditating upon the deity, concentrating his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, and gradually rising higher and higher up to his smiling face. According to the Bhagavad school, the Lord's rasa dance is the smiling face of the Lord. Since you covered that part, I can't see it now. Drop it down one shot. Since it is recommended in this verse that one should gradually progress from the lotus feet up to the smiling face, we shall not jump at once to the understanding of the Lord's pastimes in the rasa dance. It is better to practice concentrating our attention by offering flowers and tulasi to the lotus feet of the Lord. In this way, we gradually become purified by the archana process. We dress the Lord, bathe him, etc. And all these transcendental activities help us purify our existence. When we reach the higher standard of purification, we can see the smiling face of the Lord or hear the rasa dance pastimes of the Lord. Then we can relish his activities. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, the rasa dance pastimes are delineated in the 10th canto, chapters 29 through 34. The more one concentrates on the transcendental form of the Lord, either on the lotus feet, the calves, the thighs, or the chest, the more one becomes purified. In this verse, it is clearly stated, the more the intelligence becomes purified, which means the more one becomes detached from sense gratification. Our intelligence in the present conditioned state of life is impure due to being engaged in sense gratification. The results of meditation on the transcendental form of the Lord will be manifested by one's detachment from sense gratification. Therefore, the ultimate purpose of meditation is purification of one's intelligence. Those who are too engrossed in sense gratification cannot be allowed to participate in the archana or to touch the transcendental form of the Radha Krishna or Vishnu deities. For them, it is better to meditate on the gigantic Virat Roop of the Lord as recommended in the next verse. The impersonalists and the avoiders are therefore recommended to meditate on the universal form of the Lord, whereas the devotees are recommended to meditate on the deity worship in the temple. Because the impersonalists and the voidists are not sufficiently purified in their spiritual activities, archana is not meant for them. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Gaurabadi Pracharine Namaste Sunyavadi Paschatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Vipa Sindhu Paevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here, this section of the Bhagavatam is called, the first stage in God realization, the Lord in the heart. And now we are hearing of a process by which one can purify their intelligence. And purified intelligence means one will act according to transcendental knowledge or spiritual philosophy. In other words, direction that's guided by intelligence and ultimately leads to realization of the absolute truth, Krishna in his personal form. Srila Prabhupada has established temples all over the world with Radha Krishna deities in many of the temples. This is quite unique, phenomenal, and rare. To worship Radha Krishna is a very high standard of worship. And therefore, to establish so many temples of Radha Krishna worship and to maintain this type of worship is a great service to the world in general, because it gives the people a chance to purify their intelligence and connect directly with the Lord on his transcendental form. To realize Krishna in his name is one stage of realization. A higher stage of realization is to realize Krishna as non-different than his transcendental form. Higher than that is realizing Krishna in his unlimited transcendental qualities, and the highest is to realize Krishna through his transcendental pastimes. But all of these different realizations are absolute principles of perfection in devotional service. So here, the recommended process is to concentrate, or to, as the word here, meditate, means to fully absorb oneself and thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord. We can do that in our mind, but usually until the mind is actually fully peaceful and purified, the mind will jump and one will be somewhere else. Happens regularly. Therefore, the temples facilitate a type of worship that is more natural and more, what we say, easy. And that one can take darshan of the beautiful form of the Lord and simply meditate on the Lord's lotus feet. And as one develops this mood of meditation, one can gradually raise their eyes to the higher levels of the Lord's transcendental form. The Lord's form is pure spiritual energy. It's non-different in him. The Lord doesn't change his form. His form is eternal. He is his form, as opposed to us. We have a particular body, but we are different in the body. We reside in the body as a spiritual being, and therefore our body is just a covering over our existence. Or to give it more of a credence, we might say the body is the house of the soul, while the soul is in the material world. But we are not the house. We are the occupier of the house, which is the soul. And therefore, our bodies are always different. Therefore, we change our bodies. Life after life, we get a different, completely new body. But even in this life, we're changing our bodies from one developed stage to another. That body changing is just a process of moving towards a different aspect of that same body. In other words, there is a deterioration of the body at a certain point. At a certain point, there is a development of the body, and then at a certain point, there is a deterioration. So in any case, we're always changing our bodies. And the final change is death, where we get a complete new body. Unless we purify our existence and become qualified to receive a spiritual body, which is the nature of the soul's existence. And then that spiritual body can take us back to the world of spirit, which is the spiritual world. And therefore, we can exist within that body in eternal knowledge and bliss. But Krishna's body is pure spiritual energy. He never changes his body. And our perception of Krishna's transcendental form becomes more and more revealed in terms of its beauty, its power, its nature to absorb, according to how the intelligence becomes purified. Purified intelligence is enhanced by moving our intelligence away from trying to use it to increase material happiness or material activities. So we use the mind and intelligence to live in this world so we can somehow or other become successful with the idea of enjoying the results of such activities. This actually pollutes the intelligence, because material energy is a combination of the different facilities which cover the real intelligence of the soul. And therefore, what we get is a contaminated intelligence, which is not the real intelligence. Just like they're coming up with these things now called artificial intelligence. There's some robot that can give you answers and answer all kinds of questions. But real intelligence is superior to artificial intelligence. Real intelligence is what created artificial intelligence. And real intelligence, artificial intelligence cannot express emotional feelings, which are the essence of life's interaction. And therefore, it's just another attempt to pollute the intelligence by creating another level of intelligence, which is what we say artificial. And it is artificial because it is subject to deterioration by this innate nature of destruction. But real intelligence is but real intelligence can turn into artificial intelligence when it's used for sense gratification. So we're acting on the plane of artificial intelligence when we use our pure intelligence, our God-given intelligence, to facilitate happiness in this material world, success in this material world. So one of the ways to keep the self-intelligence pure is to meditate on the transcendental form of the Lord, or to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is also purifies not only the mind, the intelligence, the senses, and everything connected with the Lord. It is, as Lord Chaitanya says, chanting the holy name is It is, what is that verse? Snaparam param. It is a supreme form of purification of all existence of the living entities' activities, including the intelligence automatically. Now, here's a very nice form of meditation. We can also keep a picture of the transcendental form of the Lord in our home. Take time to see that picture, meditation on that. And that is devotional service. That is purification of the heart. That is awakening our attraction for Krishna. Because Krishna's transcendental form, in any aspect of it, whether it's his transcendental lotus feet or its smiling face, is all attractive. Of course, his smiling face seemed to be more attractive, and it is, in the sense that it represents his loving relationships with his devotees. His feet represent devotional service. So we start with the principle of focusing on our desire to serve the Lord by meditating on his lotus feet, and then gradually, as it says, moving one's concentration up to the calves, thighs, and higher like that. And then the more one goes to different parts, the more the intelligence becomes purified. But it's not simply glancing, it's more like a meditation on these. So one should practice this. It's nice, it's purifying. And it also enhances our quality to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra also. It's another aspect of purification which aligns itself with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Because Krishna is so beautiful, and his beauty cannot be described in words. Sometimes we say that Krishna is not beautiful, but Krishna is beauty itself. So beauty gets its definition from Krishna. And everything else that is beautiful is simply lesser than the source of beauty, which is Krishna himself. And when he is performing his pastimes with his devotees in Vrindavan, it's explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in that loving exchange with his devotees, all of his good qualities become enhanced, particularly his beauty. And this also refers to the devotee. When the more we look at meditate on the beautiful form of the Lord, the more we see that beauty becoming enhanced more and more. And what happens? Our intelligence becomes purified. But what is the result of that? We also become more beautiful, because the reciprocation between Krishna and the living entity in that form of meditation enhances that quality of beauty, and both are becoming more and more beautiful to each other. So this is the process of bhakti here. And this verse says we should also very carefully avoid any kind of meditation on something that is without form or some aspect of voidism. Actually, one cannot meditate on nothing. It's not possible, because just like if I ask you, think of nothing, what will you do? How can you think of nothing? Thinking is a positive action, and there must be a reciprocation or a result of thinking. So when I say think of nothing, it's not possible. You have to think of something. Thinking is an activity of thought, and thought means there is a subject matter that one thinks about. And so impersonal and voidism is just some misnomer. You can't think about nothing or think about something that has no form, because meditation means on form and not on nothingness. But people shut out their minds and try to think about nothing, and they call that a form of meditation. But what happens is they usually go to sleep, because the mind becomes there's nothing they're focusing on, so they just become, they just void out. So that's not at all. No, so this verse is nice. It's very powerful. It brings us to a higher stage of Krishna consciousness if we follow this very nicely here. Go down the page with the purport here. And of course, according to the Bhagavad school, it says the rasa dance is the fine smiling face of the Lord, which is the Lord's ultimate transcendental, emotional pastime with his pure devotees of the Lord, the gopis of Vrindavan. So one has to qualify to come to that stage of meditation on Krishna's rasa dance. But it is available because it is part of the process of meditation. One can also meditate on Krishna as he performs his pastimes with his devotees in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So that includes not only his form, but his qualities and his activity of transcendental dance. And those who are, go down the page again, go farther down. Keep going. Those who are too engrossed in sense gratification, it says they're not allowed to perform archana or even touch the transcendental form of the deities. For them, because they are not qualified, they will commit offenses and they will speculate about what it is. But actually, it's recommended for them. They want to make some spiritual progress. They can focus on the imaginary Virat Rupa form of the Lord, which is an image that is surreptitiously placed within the mind on the different parts of the body of the Lord that corresponds to different parts of the transcendental, of the universe itself. Yeah. So there are those who are not qualified, impersonalists, voidists, materialists. They cannot perform these activities. It's not meant for them, as Prabhupada says directly here. Okay, so we'll stop there and open it up for some discussion.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So nice and nectarian class. You covered the beautiful realizations, different realizations of the Lord, and the comparison of our and Lord's body, and also how we can purify our intelligence by meditating on the Lord's limbs. Thank you so much. Devotees, if you have any questions, comment, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. And if you can't speak, then please type it in the chat and I'll read it for you. And it will also be nice to have your darshans. If you can keep your cameras on as well, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I will see there are 5 messages in the chat. I'm not sure if those are questions.
Take the questions first.
Yeah, sure. Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, as Guru Maharaj, you were explaining about those who are not qualified to engage in worship of the deity form of the Lord, even as a neophyte devotees, do we have to reach a certain level of purification or certain level of practice before we are allowed to have deities either in our home or even, of course, for worship on the altar, one needs second initiation. But even in the home, as neophytes, what level should we reach before we are qualified to worship deities?
Well, then there's where you get permission from the spiritual master. If you get that permission, then you can begin a simplified form of worship according to his direction. That's fine. Home worship is not as strict with the requirements as it is in the temples. But there is, still, you're dealing with Krishna. But there is extra allowances for worship. So the basic qualification is the permission of your spiritual master. And generally, we should be initiated, at least first initiation before we begin some worship. Before then, we can keep pictures of the deities and worship in that way. But there's those who do have deities who are not initiated. We don't say stop, but we actually recommend that they ultimately come to a higher stage of bhakti in the sense that they follow strictly the instructions given by their spiritual master for proper worship.
Thank you for the clarification, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Mataji. So please let us, yes, Shrisha Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please Gurudev, this is a Muhammad message, so goes Srila Prabhupada, goes to all the Vaishnavas. Usually when I'm preaching to young people, they are full of lust, they are full of
We lost the audio.
Sorry. So the young people are full of lust and material desires. And for them, it is hard to fix themselves into Mahamantra, into the process, to even come to the programs regularly. So I was just thinking about this sentence that if they are too materially attached in sense gratification, that even meditation on wish, like in a universal form, would actually help them to fix their mind into the supreme. So would that be even a consideration to do with the new people if we see that they are not so stable in Mahamantra?
No, there's many other ways to attract them based on Krishna conscious arrangements. So we don't recommend people to preach meditating on the Virat Rupa form. That's for the gross materialists. If these people are showing interest in spiritual life, then they are at least one step above the gross materialist. So there's different ways to help bring them in, such as the best thing to do, depending on where you are, is to invite them into the temple, invite them to programs. We're having our daily Zoom calls. They can also come on such calls and hear philosophical teachings coming from Bhagavatam. These are more there are more natural ways of bringing people in. I wouldn't talk about the universal form. I don't think devotees preach universal form anywhere.
Yeah, okay, that sounds logical, Maharaj. Thank you. Because there are many bridge preachers that they start with Om Shivaya, and then lots of things that I'm not sure anymore. It has to do with Krishna consciousness. But yeah, okay, that's perfect. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Shrisha Prabhu. Ekta Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. O Krishna Prabhupada. Maharaj, you spoke about meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, and you said it's not glancing, but it's actually meditating. And I wondered whether you could share more about what meditation actually means.
Well, there is a statement that describes meditation in terms of time. And I think it's, yeah, I don't know where that statement is. It's part of my, if you want, I can find it for you. I think I can find it. I think I know where it is. Let me see here. I'll have to escape first and then go to another section here. It's interesting that when they calculate meditation, samadhi, absorption, they talk in terms of time. My computer's not responding here. Okay. Seems like I can't get to it. It's not happening here.
Should I try and look in the Google, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah, you can't find this. This is a very rare document. I can't open, because I'm hooked up to this microphone here, I can't use my mouse. And because I can't use my mouse, I can't open what I want to open here. Just give me a minute, I'll connect this and
Sure, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
I don't think I'm going to be able to find it so easily. It's too remote. I'll have to do a lot of searching. Yeah, I won't be able to find it. But what it says is that what it talks about is the different time periods that describe different levels of absorption into the Sorry, I can't. I mean, it's got to do something else.
Should we try and send this letter to Ekta Mataji?
I can't get back to the Zoom call now. I'm somewhat
Okay.
unable to do it because for whatever reason, my computer is not responding.
But we can hear and see you clearly, Guru Maharaj, for some reason. Should we take a question from Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, because we can definitely see you and your camera is perfectly working fine.
Can't do anything. I'm outside of the Zoom now.
Oh, okay. But we can see you. So it hasn't shut down. This Zoom looks like.
Keep asking questions anyway.
Yes, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu. Should I ask him to go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu. You might just have to sit little back, Maharaj, because we can't see. Yeah, that's fine. We couldn't see you properly previously. Yes, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Guru Maharaj. All glories to all of the devotees. Guru Maharaj, you said that when we take darshan of the Lord, we should first focus on his lotus feet. I find that sometimes, particularly when looking at the deity of the child form of the Lord, however much I tell myself to focus on his feet, focus on his lotus feet, eyes automatically go to his beautiful face, and then I just get lost and I can't focus on his feet.
Yeah. What to do? Doesn't say that you should not do it. It says you should do it gradually as an element of purification of the intelligence. And you may not have the same experience until intelligence is purified. As long as the intelligence remains not purified, you won't be able to actually perceive the beauty of that meditation. Because meditation indicates absorption, and absorption is the principle that allows us to go deeper into the qualities of Krishna's transcendental form. But don't worry about it. I wouldn't worry. If that's your only problem, you're okay.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thanks, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu. Guru Maharaj, Shridevi Mataji has sent a text. Is it okay if I read it? She's asking, is this what you were looking for? Should I read it for you?
No.
No, okay.
Can you post it? No.
Yes,
can't.
it is been posted in the chat, Maharaj.
Yeah, just put up the chat.
Yes, it's in the chat for everyone. Okay.
Okay, what does it say?
Okay. A recollection, absorption, meditation, and constant remembrance and trance are the 5 items of progressive Krishna Smarana. At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at intervals, but later remembrance proceeds uninterrupted. When remembrance is uninterrupted, it becomes concentrated and it is called meditation. When meditation expands and becomes constant, it is called Anushmriti. By uninterrupted and unceasing Anushmriti, one enters the stage of Samadhi or spiritual trance. After Smran Dasa or Samadhi has fully developed, the soul comes to understand his original constitutional position. At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. This is called Sampati Dasa, the perfection of life.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you. This is a very nice text. I'm going to copy paste and
Yeah.
maybe share in the.
See the different levels of absorption
Yeah.
going from one stage to another till it reaches full concentration. I think I remember part of it. It says that samadhi is indicated by 2 hours and 44 minutes. So if one is able to absorb themselves fully in the transcendental form of the Lord, completely for 2 hours and 44 minutes, they have entered into the level of samadhi. Now, these are material ways of estimating, but there is a statement like that just to show these different stages and the time correlation between each stage. But it's not limited to those numbers, so.
Thanks, Maharaj. Devotees, any other questions, comments? I just have one question, Guru Maharaj. I wanted to check that one of the class I heard that the preacher was saying that just don't go stand in front of the of Krishna's day, Krishna and massage your eyes. This is like it's just a kind of a sometime becomes a sense gratification looking at him. So
No, what does it say here? Does it say? So this purifies your intelligence.
yeah, that's how
Why do
I
you
felt
think?
really.
Why do we think the deity is there in the temple? So we can get the opportunity to absorb ourselves in his transcendental form. It's there for worship. It's there for meditations. It's there for receiving our prayers. No, well, otherwise, I don't know whoever said that. Doesn't make sense.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
But
Because
if you're looking at the deity and you're thinking of something else, then you're not really there.
but it usually
You
happens
contem-
that yeah, sorry.
should contemplate the beautiful qualities of the Lord's different transcendental parts of his body as one takes into that meditation.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. I always felt guilty about standing in front of the lodges and looking at them. Maybe I'm not doing it right, but now that's good.
Well, it should be done in the right mood. The mood is to connect with Krishna through meditation, through absorption in his transcendental form.
So Maharaj, sometime it happens that when you look at Krishna, you just looking at his beautiful face and there is nothing in the mind. You don't want to ask anything. You don't want to pray for anything. You just, everything shut down. Like there is, like we don't know what we're meditating on. Like literally, I don't know. I always get blank. Like I
I think
just don't know what I do when I stand.
if your mind is shut down to everything material, that means you're entering into that proper mood. That's the first stage. The eyes are meant to see the form of the Lord. That's why they're there. It says that eyes that don't see the form of the Lord are like the eyes on the body of a peacock. They look like eyes, but they're not.
Thanks.
Radharani, she only wants to see Krishna. She doesn't want to see anything else.
So beautiful answer. Jagdish Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, all humble obeisances to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I have a question for you regarding Srila Prabhupada. Which verse did he say that was his favorite, or he said that it was the best word in the Srimad Bhagavatam?
He made comments about the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita. And we can also see by Prabhupada's classes which verses he spoke a lot. But particularly two areas of the Bhagavatam he gave complete attention and absorption, gave his most powerful classes is the prayers by Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto and the prayers by Kunti Devi in the 1st canto. When Prabhupada towards his last days before he left, he spoke a lot on Prahlad Maharaj. So I think he had that as one of his favorites. to hear the glories of, to speak about the glories of Prahlad Maharaj. And if you see the 1977 lectures that Prabhupada gave, you'll see he spoke a lot on that seventh canto. So I would say, based on what is available, that he very much liked to speak about and glorify Prahlad Maharaj. He considered Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, the topmost expression of pure prayer, pure devotional prayers. 9th chapter of the 7th canto, Prayers by Prahlad Maharaj. Beautiful chapter.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jagdish Prabhu. Any other
And
questions?
he spoke at least 3 different times in the series on Queen Kunti's prayers in the 1st canto. If you go down the list, you'll see which verses Prabhupada spoke on and how often he spoke on the same verses. You'll find Queen Kunti and Prahlad Maharaj is the most outstanding of all of the verses that he spoke on. Queen Kunti's prayers are really deep. Beautiful expressions of complete humility and complete glorification of Krishna. Prabhupada spoke on 1st canto, 2nd canto, 3rd canto, 5th canto, 6th canto, 7th canto, and that's it. He didn't speak about the 8th, 9th, or 10th, although he wrote about them and delivering us Bhagavatam. When he gave classes, he just concentrated on these particular cantos. At one point in his early days, he read a manuscript of the 12th canto describing the symptoms of the age of Kali. But that was a special part of another class that he introduced as part of that class. So Prabhupada spoke on, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th canto. These are the 6 cantos he spoke on. Didn't speak on the 4th canto, didn't speak on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. His favorite was the 7th, I think. And the most frequent verse he spoke on in the Bhagavad Gita was chapter 7, verse number 1. He spoke on that so many times. To get an insight of what Prabhupada considered to be important for our spiritual growth. 7.1 in Bhagavad Gita. One of the most quoted verses by Prabhupada was Bharata Bhumita Hoila Janmana Sartaka Kari. Finish it up, Sri Devi. I can't remember the rest of it.
Janma sartak kari karo paro upakar.
That was his most quoted verse. Those who are born in the land of India, it's their duty to do good to the rest of the world. By Paropaka means to do good to others. So India is meant to give the world what they need, spirituality. So everyone who's born in India, it's their duty to spread Krishna consciousness. Haribol. That was the most frequent verse that he spoke on. Or he mentioned, he didn't speak on it, he just mentions it in his lectures. There's a listing, you can find it. Which verses, which Prabhupada spoke most, which statements he spoke the most frequent. All of this has been calculated. Prahlad Maharaj reigns supreme in terms of the Bhagavatam, I think. Amrita Nam.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances of glories to Srila Prabhupada. Just a quick question, Guru Maharaj. So does that mean that whatever Srila Prabhupada wanted to tell us is all covered in the first 7 cantos?
He said, I put everything in the first canto. I think the verse before yesterday's verse, he mentions that, I forgot the context, but it talks about, that we should study these first 2 cantos as the foundation for all the knowledge we need in Krishna consciousness. Bhagyashri.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, like a few days back, I was discussing with one devotee, and the devotee was mentioning that if we are attached so much to our temple deities, that the thought of separation is so much anxious that for the work purpose, if we have to move to another city or a country, it is very anxious or like very depressing. So this kind of attachment to our deities, is it on spiritual platform or just on material platform?
Yeah, it's spiritual. Whoever told you that doesn't know what they're talking about. It's an illusion. The idea is to get attached to Krishna. And if you have to be separate, then that's love and separation. And that is higher than anything. That intensifies the heart and the longing of wanting to again be with your deities. It's pure, it's bhakti. That's pure bhakti. I don't know what people get all these crazy ideas from. Don't get attached to your deities. I mean, what you get? What are you going to get? You got to get attached to something. You don't get attached to Krishna. You get attached to something in the material world.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Like the devotee was mentioning that we know that there is another temple in this other city, and which is non-different from our this Gopijan Vallabh, but still that thought of separation from the Gopijan Vallabh is really very giving.
It's good.
It's
It's
good.
what you want. And one Prabhupada used to say, when you see another deity, other than your worshipable deity, you see your own deity through that other deity. Prabhupada explained that. When you see Radha Kunja Bihari, you'll think of Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha.
Yes. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Yeah. When you see something you love, and you see something that is similar to what you love, it reminds you of what you love.
Thanks, Mataji. Shridevi Mataji. Oops, sorry, Maharaj, you were saying something.
That's why we meditate on the different parts of the Lord's body, because all of them signify the decorations of the Lord's transcendental form. And that reminds us of Krishna in different ways. The whole process is to think of Krishna. That's the process. That's the success of the process. Shatatam, always remember Krishna. If you have a favorite aspect of Krishna's transcendental form in the form of your worshipable deity, then you've actually attained a very solid level of Krishna consciousness. Krishna is one, but he manifests in different forms, but still we have our favorite, and that favorite is due to our service. The ones we serve, we develop love from too, because you're serving Sri Sri Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha, your attraction and your love is developing for them.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for clarifying.
Where's Patni?
Actually, during the school days, she's getting up a little late.
Okay. Tell her I said thank you for her letter. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Just one question. There is a question in the chat. Is it okay if I just quickly read that, Maharaj? This is from Ridhaya Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glory Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. I was wondering if we should only meditate on different parts of Krishna's transcendental body and not on the entire transcendental form, face to toe, or is this okay?
No, as a recommended process here is to gradually move from one section of the body, starting with the lotus feet on up. If we follow the recommended way, and then purification will happen naturally.
Thank you, Maharaj. I hope that answers your question, Ridhaya Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Maharaj.
Purification of the intelligence is what this verse says. As you continue to meditate on the different parts of the Lord's body, bringing your eyes up higher and higher, intelligence is becoming more purified. And then when you reach the transcendental smiling face of the Lord, intelligence is sufficiently purified, and then that will be, you'll see something, you'll have an experience of seeing Krishna in that transcendental form. Otherwise, if you jump all the way to his transcendental smiling face, you may not be able to appreciate or even keep your consciousness there. Gradual meditation is the recommended way.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thanks, Mataji.
Yeah.
Shridevi Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, please. So Guru Maharaj, in this last paragraph of this purport says that the impersonalists and avoiders, they are recommended to meditate on the gigantic Virat Roop of the Lord. How is it that they're going to even come to that realization that they need to meditate on the Virat form of the Lord unless someone tells them that?
Yeah, so go ahead. Well, I mean, if they want to meditate on the Lord, they're not qualified. So if they want, therefore, they can meditate on this particular imaginary form of the Lord. They have to have a desire to meditate on the Lord's form, but they're not qualified to meditate on his transcendental form. So therefore, it's recommended they meditate on this Virat aspect of the Lord.
So, as devotees in our temple, how do we know to whom to say
Don't
what?
worry about that. That's not something we concern ourselves.
Okay.
We just preach Krishna consciousness.
Thanks, Mataji. Amritana Mataji, please go ahead.
If you're speaking one-to-one, then that's a different thing. But ultimately, you encourage people to follow the processes given by Srila Prabhupada. Amrita Nam. Satyabhama, you're sleeping. Come on. Come on, wake up.
I'm just lost in your words, Guru Maharaj. There's so much nectar coming through.
You're supposed to know when the next questionnaire is ready to speak.
Yes. Sorry.
Hare Krishna. So, Guru Maharaj, on the or who are who are practicing some devotional activities, not in the process, but when they see the deity form, they still get the tears out of their eyes. So, is it coming from their past lives?
Could be. Can't really say. Doesn't really matter anyway.
I mean, regularly coming is something on a different platform. I mean, once or twice is okay, but I've seen many. Whenever they see the deity form, they are in tears.
Yeah, there are people, yeah. But then again, because their hearts are open, and because their hearts are open, they get immediately an experience. When the heart is open, and then all of a sudden, when you come in contact with transcendental energy, there is some experience. When the heart is closed, then although you're coming in contact with that, there is no reaction. So sometimes the people's hearts are open. When their hearts are open, that means they're ready to absorb whatever they're experiencing. And then tears can come. Happens to even people who are not devotees. They come into the temple, they don't know, and all of a sudden they start crying. They don't know why. They hear the Harinam Kirtan, and they start also experiencing transcendental happiness. Because they have no preconceived notion of anything, and therefore they're able to absorb the pure sound, the pure image. When we practice, we're like that in the beginning, then we get all of our preconceived ideas, and then that blocks all of these experiences.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Just keep your heart open, that's all.
Right.
When you go into the temple, you think, I'm going to go see Krishna. He's so wonderful. I can't see Krishna, but I'm going to still make an attempt to get his mercy by meditating on his lotus feet and seeing his transcendental form.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. I feel that when I see these kind of people, I think at least they have the grateful heart.
Yeah, they're having experience. Many of them will just go away and that's all there'll be. Ecstasy is not a sign of advancement. Don't consider it. It's not. Anyone can have ecstasy at any time. And ecstasy can happen at anyone, at any place. What's advancement is how much one is absorbed in serving the Lord. That's the indication of one's the development in devotional service. How much one is eager to serve the Lord. One is always thinking how to serve. One doesn't want to waste a minute. They're enthusiastic to serve. They don't want to do anything but think about the Lord, serve the Lord. That's bhakti. Not, well, once someone can get an experience and start crying, but next minute, they're back washing dishes again. Or doing something mundane. Prabhupada made
Thank
that
you.
point. Yeah, service is love. Service is an expression of your love for Krishna. And when that service becomes continuous, then the love also starts to manifest more and more. Sajibam is in ecstasy there, so we have to just allow her to stay online because her ecstasy is overcoming her ability to do her service. So, Jagadish, you're next. I'm really happy you're in ecstasy, but you don't really get anything done when you're in ecstasy. You're supposed to get things done.
No, I thought you were still answering the questions. So that's why I did not answer Jagdish Prabhu.
No, you have to see, you have to hear. You can tell when I'm done and when I'm not done. That's what a Zoom host has to tune in and then know when the answer is complete. They can pick up on it. If you constantly listen, you'll be able to understand when to move and when not to move. Right, Sri Devi? See? He knows.
Yes, Jagdish Prabhu.
Sweet host, but you don't get anything done.
I'm not Prabhu.
That's okay.
He's like
I can-
Tukaram Guru Maharaj. His wife was very frustrated with him, but he was just lost in bliss.
He's always in bliss, and we really want to put bliss on the side and get into the discussion here. Jagadish Prabhu.
Jagdish Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, I've got a question for you. Why is it in all the temples, Radha and Krishna have different names? Why don't they say these deities are Radha Krishna?
Why do they have like Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gokulananda?
That's
Because
correct.
yeah, there's different pastimes of the Lord indicates his names. So Prabhupada names the deities accordingly. And these names indicate Krishna's pastimes. These names indicate Krishna's relationships with his devotees. Sometimes these names represent Krishna's holy places like Radha Giridhari, the lifter of the Govardhan hill. Radha Shyam Sundar, he is most beautiful. Gokulananda, Krishna's abode in the material world is called Gokul. He's the bliss of Gokul. All of these describe his qualities, his pastimes.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Is that all right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think, are there any last minute questions? Maybe We are quarter past, and Guru Maharaj, if you have time, we can do japa.
Yeah. Now let's do this. Can you stay on for an hour, Satyabhama?
Maybe not an hour, because I'll have to go to the service again, to the temple. So maybe half an hour.
All right.
I can, Guru Maharaj.
So let's make it a 1 hour japa session, and I'll probably leave before the hour is up, and then the devotees can continue on for 1 hour, and then accordingly you can stay on or not stay on. But some devotees like to continue chanting. Like yesterday, we chanted from over an hour, and still there was still 12 devotees still online chanting. So it's nice to have it finish with the holy name.
Maharaj, if you can maybe a little bit, because we can't see your eyes, your and camera. Yes, maybe. Yeah, this is better. Thank you.
And it's nice to finish with the holy name because it purifies. And there's a lot of devotees who are in their japa period right now, and therefore they take advantage of this opportunity to chant with the other devotees. The devotees in Detroit must be in their japa period right now. Right? Okay. Devotees in Cincinnati. Okay, Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Sivasari, Gaur, Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hari Hari Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hari 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,